This is the WJTS News. In tonight's news, the Jasper Strassenfest announces its theme and Hofmarschall for 2019. Holiday World Splash and Safari honors employees. And a Washington couple are charged with neglect of a dependent resulting in bodily injury. Carrie Schneider talks with the Dubois County Humane Society. Kurt Guxell looks at sports as a Forest Park standout has selected a college. Followed by WJTS Informed. Tonight, German exchange students Joachim Held and Laura Mischel join us. All this and more coming up on the 18 WJTS News. Good evening, I'm Bill Potter with the WJTS News. The Jasper Strassenfest Committee has picked Jasper, Indiana Chamber Community of the Year as the theme for this year's fest. The theme was chosen due to the fact that the city was recognized by the Indiana Chamber of Commerce as the Indiana Community of the Year this past year. The Strassenfest Committee has also chosen the Hofmarschall, or Grand Marshal, for the 41st Annual Jasper Strassenfest. Indiana Chamber of Commerce board member and owner of Jasper-based Matrix Integration, Brenda Stallings, has been selected as the 2019 Strassenfest Hofmarschall. As Strassenfest Hofmarschall, Brenda will speak at opening ceremonies on Thursday, August 1st. She will also attend several Strassenfest events and activities, as well as serve as Hofmarschall or Grand Marshal to lead the Strassenfest parade on Sunday, August 4th. The official 2019 Strassenfest logo and button are still in the design phase at this time, but should be completed and released in the next few weeks. The Strassenfest Committee would also like to announce that sponsorship request letters will be mailed soon. All cash and in-kind sponsors are listed in the Events and Activities Program booklet each year. The 41st Annual Jasper Strassenfest will be held August 1st through the 4th in downtown Jasper. One of the early candidates for the caucus to fill an open at-large seat on the Jasper Common Council has decided to remove his name from the race. Tim Bell has withdrawn from consideration for the caucus. Bell's departure now leaves the number of those hopeful to fill the seat at an even dozen. They include Steve Block, Adrian Engelbarth, Chad Leakin, Steve Messmer, Paul Lowry, Bernie Fallon, Merrill Osterman, Phil Mundy, Patty Brosmer, Levi Hulsman, Justin Klimper, and Dr. Richard Moss. They are looking to fill the position vacated by Dean Vonderheide, who recently was selected by a caucus to finish out the final year of Terry Seitz's term as mayor of Jasper. Vonderheide officially took over the mayor's office on Monday. A second Republican caucus will be held in Jasper City Hall's Pfaffenweiler Room at 9 a.m. this coming Saturday, January 12th, to fill the at-large council seat. It will be the same 13 committee people who voted in the caucus to appoint Vonderheide. Any other interested candidates have until 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, January 9th, to file for the caucus. Now, City Council candidate news from Washington, Indiana. Current Washington City Council member at large David Dahl has announced his plans to run for the full term for the Washington Common Council seat he now holds. Dahl, a Republican who was appointed to the council in 2016 to fill a vacancy, he's retired from Midwestern Engineers, where he served 20 years as president and CEO. A registered professional engineer, Dahl was project engineer for numerous civil engineering projects, including water treatment plants for the city of Washington, and he also developed sewage treatment facilities for Washington and several other southern Indiana cities. There are two at-large seats on the council. Democrat Blake Chambers currently holds the other seat. Davies County Democrat Chairman Ron Critchlow announced last month he is running for an at-large seat, along with former city street superintendent Ernie Evans, who also announced that he would run on the Democrat ticket for Washington City Council at large. Now to Perry County. Incumbents and challengers will begin filing this week for the 2019 city and town elections that will decide who represents residents, that is, of Tell City, Candleton, and Troy. As of last week, candidates were already stepping up and indicating their intentions of running. The first day, candidates may file for the May primary election is Wednesday. In Tell City, Republican Mayor Jim Adams has said he plans to seek election to a second term. He was first elected in 2015. Two Democrats are likely to challenge Adams. Two-term City Councilman Chris Kale, who represents Ward 1, says he plans to file for mayor on Wednesday. Kale owns two businesses in the city, along with rental property. He has served in recent years as council president. Longtime County Councilman Steve Goodson said Friday he is 90% sure that he is running for Tell City mayor. Goodson has served on the county council since the 90s and also served as county council president. The city of Cannleton will have a new mayor next year. Mayor Mary Snyder said she won't seek a third term in 2019. Voters will also choose representatives on city councils in Tell City and Cannleton and Troy's town board and all three communities' clerk treasurers. Tell City and Cannleton each have 5-member councils. Troy has not had contested elections for some years, with its members held over. Some of them have since resigned and been replaced. Jane Effinger Hayden, Troy's clerk treasurer, has said she intends to seek a second term in office. Jasper police worked a pair of accidents about 45 minutes apart from each other Monday afternoon, in which medical issues are believed to have played a role in both incidents. The first accident took place just after 2:30 p.m. yesterday, when police say an SUV driven by 73-year-old Paul Bateman III of Jasper was northbound along Cathy Lane on the city's east side and was approaching the 90-degree curve to continue north on Cathy Lane. Police say Bateman had some type of medical issue and drove his SUV into a guardrail owned by the city of Jasper. Bateman's vehicle then traveled across the center line and struck a mailbox along Cathy Lane owned by Meyer Distributing before coming to a rest in the eastbound lane. Bateman was taken from the scene by ambulance to Memorial Hospital due to his medical issue. Damage to his SUV was estimated at $7,500, while damage to the guardrail was listed at $500, and damage to the Meyer mailbox was set at $100. Bateman was cited for not having a valid driver's license. In the second incident, around 3:15 p.m. yesterday, an officer with the Jasper Police Department was stopped at the traffic light at the intersection of 13th and Newton Streets facing south when police say a tan northbound SUV driven by 63-year-old Theodore Clem of Jasper drove into the center lane of the highway and nearly struck the City of Jasper police cruiser. The officer turned his vehicle around, activated his lights and siren, but police say Clem continued northbound in speeds in excess of 90 miles per hour. Police say Clem continued through the intersection of 15th Street and drove off the left-hand side of the roadway and struck a pair of large trees before coming to a stop. Police believe the accident was caused by an illness that is unknown at this time. Clem was taken by ambulance to Memorial Hospital for treatment. Clem's SUV was a total loss. He was ticketed by police for improper passing. A Davies County woman was placed under arrest this past weekend for allegedly taking items from the Jasper Walmart store without paying for them. Officers with the Jasper Police Department were called to the Northside Supercenter just after 9:30 Saturday evening after learning that two women were stopped and were being detained by the store's assessment protection team. Authorities say one of those women, 29-year-old Talina Morales of Washington, took items out of a packaging, placed them in her purse, and was stopped after passing all points of sale. The total value of the items was under $69. Morales was booked into the DuBois County Security Center on a misdemeanor count of theft. Police say another woman alleged to have accompanied Morales and who also reportedly shoplifted items will be cited in court on a theft charge because she was expecting a child. A Washington couple was arrested after police say they found children in urine-soaked diapers and extremely cold. Court documents say back on December 7th, police and officers with the Department of Child Services were called to the home of Brittany Morford and Travis Criswell on Grove Street in Washington, who were both home at the time. When police went to check on the children, they could smell the strong odor of burnt marijuana. Both children were filthy, soaked in urine, and extremely cold. So cold, the children's feet had turned purple. One of the children, a 2-year-old, was also suffering from a second-degree burn. Police did find a kerosene torpedo-style heater in the home, which, when turned on, emitted fumes and made it hard to breathe inside the home. Both the children's mother, Brittany Morford, and her boyfriend, Travis Criswell, were arrested and are facing 2 felony charges of neglect of a dependent resulting in serious bodily injury and 2 counts of neglect of a defendant. They are both being held on $25,000 cash bond. They are scheduled to appear in court on February 12th, and the jury trial is scheduled for April 23rd through the 26th. The DuBois County Substance Abuse Council is pleased to announce the 2018 grant awards. The council receives funds from conviction user fees to fund local efforts to reduce substance abuse. This year, the council awarded $20,886 in grant funds to be used by grantees in 2019. Those receiving awards include Memorial Hospital, the medication collections available in the county, LifeSpring, formerly Southern Hills, the DuBois County Sheriff's Department, the DuBois County Drug Court, DuBois County Community Corrections, DuBois County Probation, and the Jasper, Huntingburg, and Ferdinand Police Departments. The mission of the DuBois County Substance Abuse Council is to reduce substance abuse and the problems associated with the substance abuse in DuBois County, youth and adults, in order to enhance family and community life. 8 employees at Santa Claus's Holiday World and Splash and Safari were recently honored for their years of service at the world's first theme park. The Holiday World Splash and Safari Service Award recipients are Tom Berg, Carpenter Shop Manager, 40 years. Bethany Bailey, Financial Compliance Manager, 15 years. Sean Strahl, Maintenance Planner, 15 years. Tony Perkins, Director of Control and Compliance, 10 years. Steve Weedman, IT Systems Administrator, 10 years. Andrew Bolin, Supply Chain Manager, 5 years. Audrey Grote, Regional Sales Representative, 5 years. And James Oliver, Vice President of Park Operations, 5 years. Park President Matt Eckert, says each year the parks present service awards to employees who have been with the park family for multiples of 5 years. Eckert says it's the core of longtime staff members who help to make the transition smooth each spring as employee numbers swell from 100 to more than 2,000. Eckert says they are very fortunate to have them on the team. Holiday World opens its 73rd season on May 4th with the premiere of Santa's Merry Marketplace. For information about the parks and job opportunities, visit holidayworldjobs.com or call 1-877-463-2645, 1-877-463-2645. Officials with the City of Huntingburg want to remind motorists that due to street repair work from the waterline break on Washington Street, the road will be closed between 7th Street and Railroad Avenue indefinitely. State Highway 64 will also be restricted to 2 lanes during this time. Motorists are asked to find an alternate route during the course of the work. This has been a look at your local news. Now stay tuned. Carrie Schneider is in with the DuBois County Humane Society. Then it's your local outlook and weather forecast on 18 WJTS. We're local people watching local people.